So when we get to Maundy Thursday, we have in the Bible a day where Jesus Christ is in two scenes. The first is represented by a table. The second is represented by a garden. And around the table in that first scene, it's remarkably relaxed. It's wonderfully friendly. Everyone is there together in friendship around food, as you would expect around the table. Jesus himself is even reclining at such a table. You wouldn't have necessarily thought that this was a table where Jesus knew that the next day would be spent being tortured and subsequently crucified on the cross. And around the table, everyone finds this weirdly normal. And even the suggestion that Jesus Christ then says to everyone that actually around this table, someone's going to betray me. Not only are people left with questions around that, there are so many confusions around it as well. And even in the book of Luke, people don't just take their confusions about who's going to betray me. They even take it to a whole brand new level, which is, well, actually, let's not even talk about who's going to betray Jesus, but let's talk about who's the best amongst us as well. And it's almost as if everyone's just missing the point completely about what's about to happen. The table is normal. The table is full of friendship. The table is for family. The table is for food. How many of us in this current season are craving tables of family and friendship and food and normality? Tables are for comfort. Fast forward just a few moments and Jesus is not around the table anymore. He's making his way to walk into the garden. And the garden is different. The garden represents something remarkably different now to the table. The garden is a place where Jesus doesn't just know about what needs to happen, but he starts to align himself with what needs to happen. If the table was a place where Jesus was aware of the plans of God for his life and for those moments that are about to exist, the garden was the place where Jesus chose to submit, to align, to comply, to go along with that which God was asking him to do. The garden was this place of incredible agreement to the plans and purposes of God. If the table was a place where Jesus was able to grow and to invest in the relationships that existed around him, the garden was the place where he came to the conclusion that friendships weren't just to be invested in, but these friendships were worth dying for. And Jesus makes an incredible decision to say, not my will be done, but yours, Heavenly Father. The garden is this incredible place of unity with the plans and purposes of God. The garden is the place where Jesus Christ agrees with the Father to lay down his life for a brother. And it takes this idea of friendship and it expands it now into family, but expands it in an incredible way before family, because now family isn't just someone who I live with. Family are people that I'm willing to die for. I thank God for the garden. I thank God that my life gets to benefit from the decisions that Jesus made in the garden. I thank God that the table wasn't just a table of symbolism, that a garden was provided to help us transition symbolism into reality. I thank God for the Garden of Gethsemane. I thank God for Jesus Christ, who decided to lay down his life for brothers and sisters and friends, and for everyone who doesn't even know him yet. And I thank God that there's an opportunity on my life today to praise the Jesus Christ who didn't just recline at the table, but who also decided to align with the Father in the garden. And I thank God that today he may well be presenting me with my own garden to walk into, where I don't just stay in the comfort of four walls around food amongst friends, but I actually have a garden that I'm invited to walk in, that align my life fundamentally, not just with the purposes of God, but also the call of God upon my life, where I get to truly embody the Spirit of Jesus Christ, the one who chose to not stay at the table, the one who chose to align with God through the garden, all the way to the cross. And I thank God that the invitation today is not just for me to meet the Jesus Christ who made that journey, who took that walk, but for me also to consider the garden that God has placed within my life, where I get to choose. What are you asking me to align with today? Jesus Christ, may I do that before you with honor, with dignity, but in full submission to the plans and the purposes that you have called me to walk into fully today. God bless you all as we take our own walks towards the cross of Calvary over this weekend.